Today's video is about feeding growth and feeding mistakes of a poultry farmer. 80% of production depends with how you feed your parts, and you need to know. The first thing you should know in feeding is that how you should feed in the specific age. A day old chicks, you should give them a chick mash or a starter mash. When your chicks are still below 14 weeks, you should give them 35 to 40 grams of feeds per part. Hi guys, hi my YouTube family, hi my new subscribers, and hi my returning subscribers, and also hi my viewers. Remember to subscribe, my viewers. If you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe. For especially if you love poultry. As you see guys, I have some eggs. I just collect some eggs from the 5 months 5 months parts 5 months ends. My just 5 months ends are just producing eggs are start laying. That's the eggs. So guys, today's video I want to share with you something interesting. You see guys, this one is let me show you. This one is some chicks over here, over there. That are some chicks. Yeah, that are some chicks, about 300. Yeah. So guys, today's video is somehow interesting because many of you people are asking about the video. Yeah, that's why I'm shooting the video today. So guys, today's video is about feeding growth and feeding mistakes of a poultry farmer. That's about today's video. Feeding growth and feeding mistakes of a poultry farmer. These feedings of poultries, this feeding of parts in poultry is a very important thing. I think is about 80% of production depends with how you feed your parts. That's how this feeding is very important, and you need to know. The first thing you should know in feeding is that how you should feed in the specific age. What did I mean by saying this? How you should feed your chicks, your parts at the specific age, is that it depends with the like guys. Let me talk about day old chicks. In day old chicks, guys, you have a feeding program of day old. When you start your poultry journey as a day old chick farmer, yeah, that's the first day old chicks. You should give them a chick mash or a starter mash. That's the first day old chick feeding you should give the chicks. Yeah, you should give them a chick mash or starter from the day old to 8 weeks. You should give them starter or a chick mash. Then from ninth week to 17 weeks, you should give them growers. But for me, I just give them a yellow maize, crunchy yellow maize, and canola, and premix and lime for calcium. Premix is for strong bones. Then calcium, lime is for calcium. Then canola is for proteins. That's the feeding management I use. Feeding program I use. That's how I feed them. But for if you can access to growers, because they are very expensive. That's why I use the manual one. I just produce my own feeds. That's how I use. Then that's why that was the 9th to 17. You should just give them growers or your feeds. Depend with what you like. Then from the 19th week to ends for, because this 18 week is the day that parts start laying. That's why you should give them a layer mash. That's the day. This is the day that you give them your parts layer mash, because the layer mash will help your eggs production to increase, right? That's the why you should give them a layer mash. That's how simple it is in feeding with the specific ages. That's the how simple it is, guys. The second thing you should know about feeding is that how feeding production affects your growth and egg production. That's the second thing you should know about feeding. How how feeding production affects your growth and your egg production. What do I mean by saying that? Is that when you just feed your parts at the high rate of feeding, you'll just come and realize that your production will go high, right? Yeah. And when you just feed your parts at a lower rate, you just realize that your production rate will just come lower down. That's the reason why you should just know how feeding you'll use to feed your parts, so that you'll just not feed your parts at high rate with a high production, and then a lower rate with a low production, right? That's the reason why. That's why I'm telling you this, guys. From when your chicks are still below 14 weeks, you should give them 35 to 40 grams of feeds per part. That's the criteria you can use. And then when your feeds are above, are matured, when your parts are matured, like 14, like 14 weeks, yeah, 10 to 14 weeks, you should, even it's not 10 to 14, like 17 week they are just matured, you should give them 140 to 140 grams per part. That's the thing, the ratio you can use so that your feeds will not go high and go down. That's the thing you can use and will help you there. Yeah, that's the thing. The third thing you should know about feeding is that feeding mistake mostly farmers do. Feeding mistakes that most farmers do is that most farmers actually don't know much about feeding, because someone will just feed the parts depending with the behavior of the parts. When the parts still want to eat the feeds, they just feed them. They don't even use the ratio. As I showed you guys, you have to feed them with some ratio, like overfeeding. Let's talk about overfeeding. Overfeeding, guys, you will just overfeed your fish, then you just get a high cost of feeding. That's the what I talk about feeding mistakes that most farmers do. Then we have underfeeding. Underfeeding is that whereby you give them your parts a small amounts of feed, and your parts cannot manage that. Then you will get a lower production, right? Yeah, that's the feeding mistakes. Then the next thing is feeding with poor quality feeds. Some farmers will just get the offer or something cheap outside there, then they just start buying the feeds because it's cheap. And guys, remember, cheap is expensive. And they just buy the feeds from outside there, from it's not even about effect elsewhere, and they just without knowing that the feeds are in poor quality. Then while they're giving the parts, they just experience the quality, the poor quality of in the feeds, right? That's the mistakes that you do. And guys, I just want to talk about this. I actually talk about this feeding rate. You should know about part is that feeding in chicks for day old to 14 days, you should give them a rate of one chicks. You should give them 35 to 40 grams of feed. You should have to know that. Then from when they are matured, for 15 weeks there, you should just give them 140 grams per part. When they are matured, right? Yeah, but when they are still chicks, you should just give them 35 to 40 grams. Don't overfeed and don't overfeed and don't reduce your feeds. And don't reduce your feeds. So just use that rate. When they are matured, you will just use that, and when they are not, you just use this one. Yeah, that's the thing. That's how it is. And then you should know the quality of your feeds. Then guys, the fourth thing you should know about feeding is that feeding challenges you face. Like for me, out of my experience, is that the cost, guys, the high cost can really distract your production. Can really get you to losses if you don't realize fast and get to understand it. So because feeding feeding expenses and accessories, lack of accessories and storage even, like in storage, some stores are like building stores with not well built. Some rodents will just attack the feet like rats. You see, that's the feeding mistakes you can face, right? That's the mistakes. And for and others, so the fifth thing I want to show you guys from those feedings is that how you solve that feedings, the mistake, how you solve that mistakes from feeding is that you can just in feeds you can just buy a bulk of feeds to to run away from expenses, expensive expenses. Because when you buy a small feeds, you can just buy a once and you can just it can help you. Or if for me, as I have shown you guys, for me I just make my own feeds. You can just plant. If you have some little land there, you can just buy a you can just plant yellow maize. Yellow maize is more preferable. You can just buy yellow maize and then you can just buy, you can just plant your own sunflower for proteins. So that, and then just you can just hire some machines, then you can grind for yourself, yeah, right? Then you can mix for in your farm. That's a simple way, and you can reduce the expenses of your feeds, and that's how I prefer you to do it, and it really work for me, right? That's the thing. And for things like lime for calcium and premix for strong bones, you can just buy that one. Yeah, that one is not even cannot even cost you so much, because since you have plant your own yellow maize and sunflower for proteins, that can lower your feeds. And you can also do a free land. You can also do free range, right? Free range of your parts. You can, if it's approved Kenyan, you can do free range, whereby you leave your parts. You let it your parts to seek for their food, their feeds, like grasses, and even grains and parts and insects. That's the thing. That's how you can reduce your feeds. And I've tried this one, but for now I am doing a commercial, because I am trying to reduce the cost of diseases. You see, when you just do a free range, you can just introduce your diseases to your parts, right? That's why I'm trying so much not to introduce them, because doing commercial is more severe, because you can control the diseases, right? Yeah, that's how it works. And that's the thing, guys. I think that was the video of the day about feeds. And I think this video can help you somewhere. And that for those people who are saying that just do the video feeds, I think this one you can learn from that, right? Yeah. And for see you in the next video, guys, and remember to subscribe, share. Yep.